Where is everyone?
Where is everyone? No one wants to come.
I mostly just mean
That's your list. Oh, okay. I was like, that's you. What is that? Okay. Every time we like random shit. Looks and like who uses the word spit yeah. I don't know. I think it's something that we're You're CLA. No, you're not. Give up, post it up, ready to fight right now. Like, let's go outside. They just is Parker gonna be speaker?
Seems like it.
Being a parliamentarian?
No, I'm good. It's all set up on the
all four?
tech's broken right now, so I have to do it all myself anyway on my laptop. So
Oh, say.
Yeah.
Have a clerk?
they are actually here.
They are
Yes,
here.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll have to do 3 jobs, only 2.
Yes.
Yeah, no. If that happens, do you get paid for being speaker when you have to step in?
No.
That's not fair.
I mean, one of my
change
job
your
description is
I'll
literally
change
to it.
it. So don't worry.
Yeah, the only thing I'd prefer is change my job description so I get 0 pay.
You just don't want any pay?
I feel like legislative cabinet should get no pay.
Why?
And all of ASCSU should have just 0 pay.
I feel like
Funds for
senators should be
students.
paid.
No, I've seen so many bills for students, senators being paid. It's no. The biggest issue is if you want to get paid, you have to get paid a certain minimum in order for it to like work for the university or whatever. I know I was there, but that amount would be so much for all the senators, it just would not work with our budget.
That's so big. Oh, give us here. I'm right.
Yes, so I don't have to be speaker, which is great. We're all set up.
Sorry.
You can ignore that. No, yeah.
We're not meeting.
Nothing, we're all, everything went back the way it is. I definitely hear on the rest of
Oh, yeah.
There's a few people in Zoom. And they're slowly joining.
Like, I'm not. Then I can just, like, I can get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I can still, like, it doesn't bother me. Every person.
One thing I can expect to see where it's. Right?
No, you're good.
I know.
I think about it.
Probably after
I want to say up here.
Not that hard. Or wait.
You're sitting here, then someone will have on this here.
It's okay.
There's no bonus down there on that.
That was just that.
They don't want to ask.
They are.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing pants. Yes.
Yeah. High school. Freshman year.
I'm worried about that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no.
Okay, we need to start Senate. We can't have all these people up here talking. Sit
Sorry.
down.
Sorry, parliamentarian.
Yeah, 15.
Expanding to seating, gallery seating.
Yeah. Be
Grab
careful.
some chairs back there.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get started. So you can get some stuff.
Hello, everybody. I'm calling to order the 15th session of the 53rd Senate, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So all that are willing and able, please stand. Ready? Begin. I.
One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Colorado State acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is traditional ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, Ute, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other nations, native tribes. We recognize the indigenous people as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion, and significantly that our founding came at a direct cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Next, we have the swearing in of any senators or associates. Is there anyone new or senator associates to be sworn in the gallery? Alrighty, we are just gonna do roll call up here. If you think we're not gonna get you on roll call, just please let us know after. The clerk is just taking a roll on her own. Next we have
Oh, consent agenda.
next we have consent agendas. Any consent to this agenda? Seeing none, we move on to gallery input. Is there anyone from the gallery who wishes to speak at this time?
Hi, all. For the next few weeks, I will be reading letters from faculty members for their concerns within the campus. Starting off, this is a faculty member from the College of Liberal Arts. Number one, smaller class sizes to support both student and faculty success. In the CLA, even many upper level advanced courses are capped at 40 students. Abundant research shows that smaller classes allow for more personalized student attention and more creative, interactive assignments and lessons. Student success. I routinely forego creative and more interactive activities I have used at other institutions where my classes were capped at 20 or 25. Field trips, simulations, debates, because they are not feasible with 40 students. Since I teach multiple high enrollment classes of 40 students, I do not have an adequate time to follow up with students individually when they miss a class or struggle on an assignment. I also cannot give students in-depth personalized feedback on early drafts or completed assignments beyond carefully constructed rubrics. Following the acute phase of COVID, I have found that my students need more direct support than ever. My DFW rates have skyrocketed in the past 2 years, even as the material I teach has remained constant. In order to meet the unique needs of our current students requires additional personalized care and attention. B, faculty burnout. As student needs for accommodations has intensified, the labor and flexibility demanded of instructors has dramatically intensified. Over 20% of my students require distinct accommodations in the fall 2023 semester. This means juggling a dozen different letters of accommodation, not including 5 additional letters from student case management or the WGAC. Meeting these students' vitality support needs has added hours of work and logistical planning, not to mention emotional labor since even 5 years ago. There's been no corresponding reduction in other job duties or increase of salary. This period has seen wage freezes and raises dramatically under the amount of inflation to account for this added work. I regularly track my work time. Meeting teaching demands with 40 students in class routinely means working 5 additional uncompensated hours per week, which is personally unsustainable and professionally eats into my other responsibilities. 2, robust student support services. Our student support services staff and offices work extremely diligently, but their understanding and under-resourcing sets them up for failure. I have had multiple students that come to me for help with mental health, gender-based violence, family troubles, and learning difficulties. I follow best practices in terms of linking students to campus resources, but I've been told multiple times by different students that these resources do not actually help students. Difficulty getting appointments, lack of aid, etc. This puts me in the position of telling students to use resources that I know are inadequate. Furthermore, I am not trained in crisis support and I am not compensated to undertake this kind of specialized and emotionally draining labor. These centers need more staff and more money. Furthermore, if the university wants faculty to continue to fulfill this mediating and emotional support role, which falls disproportionately on women and people of color, it needs to formalize these expectations and provide extra pay and or lower class sizes.
I know that was a little heavy. Hi all, I'm Faraz. I just wanted to welcome you all to the space. I know this can be a very contentious area, but we're all in this together. And a close friend of mine, his birthday is next week. If you'd please rise. So if y'all are willing and able, we sing happy birthday. It's a little preemptive, but is that okay with her?
Oh God, the starting with guest presentation. What's we can.
Okay. Ready? His name's Ali. Okay, ready? Just a little bit about me and he'll be turning 37, so any and all gifts are appreciated. We do not accept MasterCard, Venmo is appreciated. But let's get started. Thank you all for coming. I'm Faraz, I'm a senator for ASCSU. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I just want to remind everyone that as we approach winter break, a lot of times home is not safe for our student body. And that appears in very different ways. And as we are student leaders on campus and as we are student media on campus, we do kind of have a bit of a more pressing responsibility to support our students, especially considering that we're seeing a rise in anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and xenophobia across college campuses. And we are seeing them here too at CSU. So this is a reminder that if you do see something that is anti-Semitic, if you see something that's Islamophobic or xenophobic, and you are seeing the harm being done, please file a bias report if you can. If you're not able to file a bias report, please inform someone. Let the people who are being affected by what's happening know that they have support systems in place. Advise them on that support system if they do so come to you. And as we approach winter break, just know that we might be happy at the relief of getting a break, but not everyone is getting that break. And we have to approach those conversations with dignity and grace for everyone involved. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the gallery? With that, I ask RMSCC to come up. Or whichever is presenting first.
No, we're not doing a presentation. We'll go.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry for shocking you. Hi, everyone. My name is Saran Felix Navarro, and I'm a senior going for a degree in communication and a minor in creative writing. I also serve as the board of director for Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation, alongside Catherine Stengel as my admin officer and Peter Walk as the CEO. As a student on the board, I am given a very rare opportunity that to access knowledge that most students don't. I have access to knowledge such as a potential new studio, or the fact that Clark is only renovating B, which is so fun. With this access of knowledge, it's not that I have it, I can give it to other students and share that knowledge across campus, which is exactly what Rocky Mountain Student Media does. And through my experience being on the board, I can truly say it's a student-led company. Though we have professional staff like Pete here, they only act as advisors to students. Ultimately, it's student leaders who have the final decision, the final say, not only on content produced, but also in general, like how their departments are set up to manage. And as a not-for-profit company as well, we take this student-led philosophy to the highest level, such as the board of directors, where 11 of 16 slots are students. And one of those students is Catherine Stengel.
Thank you, Saran. Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Stengel, and I'm the administrative officer for the board. I'm also a freelance collegiate page designer as well. I major in art, and I have a minor in conservation biology. This is my first year on the board and also my first year in the administrative position as well. So that's really exciting. And so yeah, this opportunity for being on the board has just given me this has given me so many opportunities. First of all, it's helped me with organization in many ways. Also communication, leadership, and just given me the opportunity to be more involved, the student body and also with student media, which is something that I care about, and really am super interested in as well. Thank you, and I'm giving it back to Saran now to finish off the introduction.
That was just some basic info of.
Sorry, everyone. I actually forgot a key part of what I'm presenting today. So anyway, RMSMC, in addition to being a nonprofit, not-for-profit corporation, is also an IRS recognized 501c3 organization. In addition to that, the IRS recognized that we are functionally integrated with CSU. That means all of our work is to benefit the CSU students and the larger community. Each year, as a part of our contract with ACSU and CSU, we are required to do a full financial audit. I am pleased to report that we have received for many years the highest rating that an audit firm can give a corporation. This means our finances are accurately recorded and well managed. Thank you. That concludes everything I'm going to say.
Now that was some basic info about what Rocky Mountain Student Media has and wants to, or board-wise, is here to present. To make sure that we fit into our time allotment, I'm going to hand off to departmental presentations. Our first up is our talk about advertising, marketing, and creative services by Kim Bloomhart and Bella Bailey.
Hi, thank you for having us. I'm Kim Bloomhart, and I'm the advisor for the advertising, marketing, and creative services staffs. And before I talk about advertising and creative services, I'm going to let Bella Bailey talk to you about our marketing team.
Hi, everyone. So for the marketing team, we have three main goals that we try to follow. So our first one is recruiting. We want to recruit as many students as possible that are interested in anything student media. There's so many opportunities for every type of person. We do this throughout RAM orientation and RAM welcome. And then we want to educate the community about Rocky Mountain Student Media and what we do through promotions and events such as festivals. We did the festival at the Oval and Plaza events. And then the last goal we have is to connect. So we want to connect clients with the CSU community and CSU athletes through the programs like brand ambassadors and Rocky Mountain Student Media NIL. And the way we promote and present most of our events is through our corporate page. It's under CSU Student Media. And then we also have a fashion page showcasing CSU style, so it's Aggie style. And then, of course, as I already mentioned, we have our Plaza events that really helps promote upcoming things going on with student media. And so something that I definitely benefit from this is it's helped me so much gain knowledge on real world experiences throughout marketing. As many classes that I take where they teach me about marketing, it's a different thing to actually do it and be hands-on. And I connect with a lot of community leaders that I would not have known or they would not have known me if I didn't join this. And then I definitely develop leadership skills such as what I'm doing right now, and management skills, managing time, and they really put a lot of trust in me to make sure I do the best job. So that's really good practice for me and good education knowledge.
Right, great, thank you, Bella. Okay, I am going to talk a little bit about Rocky Mountain Student Media Advertising and Creative Services. We have a staff we have one professional salesperson on staff. who helps to train our students and helps me to manage all of the various different assets that we have through the Rocky Mountain Student Media Advertising Department. We have students who are student sales representatives, and we have a staff of digital services representatives as well. And for our department, we have three main goals that we focus on. One is education, and that's providing opportunities for students outside the classroom. So being on all of our staffs really, and particularly the advertising and creative services staff, these students are getting professional sales experience. They are learning digital sales, business sales, social media, graphic design, all things that are going to be extremely helpful to them once they graduate. Another one of our department goals is to connect. So we provide media outlets for local businesses. So we provide opportunities for local businesses and also our CSU community, our departments and student organizations to promote their events and their services. And another thing that we do that I think we do very well, I have to say so myself, and that's that we partner with CSU departments on campus. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. So our opportunities for our advertising sales consultants is because they are working in a true to life environment and they are working with local businesses and departments here on campus. They are doing very much like any professional media salesperson or digital specialist would do. We train our students to be problem solution based consultants. And so they are trained to talk to a business about what their needs are and then provide solutions on how we can help them. And as you can see, we have about 50 assets that we can offer any business client. So this is extremely beneficial to our staff because they're learning not only print and broadcast, but also digital social media. Some of the other things that we do are social media management and managing Google ad accounts. These students are also learning how to do multimedia ad sales and building, and as I already mentioned, customer service as well. This is also one of the things that sets us apart from some other media organizations across the country, and that's that we're big. We have a lot of departments that help us to provide all these opportunities for our students. So the print, the broadcast, the television station, the tree stump films, all of those opportunities. For the digital specialists, as I mentioned, they get experience in posting on social media, learning how to boost, learning how to report, which is all stuff that's going to be very beneficial if they seek opportunities outside when they graduate outside of the classroom. Other things that we're doing is Google ad management. I think I mentioned that. And we also do social media management for clients. And so again, this is a great opportunity, learning opportunity for our students. For our graphic designers, they're doing just about everything and anything they're asked to do. So they do print ads, they do posters, they do brochures, they do logos. But one of the bigger things they do is publication layout design. And our graphic designers have had the opportunity to partner with CSU Marcom and their full-time graphic designers and get some good ideas and skills and tips and learn the new branding, CSU branding. And so that's been very helpful and additional opportunity for our graphic designers. In terms of partnerships, one of the things that I mentioned that I'm especially proud of is that we have created partnership opportunities with a lot of CSU departments and being able to provide content-specific publications. So again, this adds some additional opportunities for students to do content marketing and corporate relations, and then again, additional layout opportunities. So we have partnered for many years with parent and family programs to produce a parent guide. This year, for the first time, that guide was produced in Spanish as well as in English. We partner with CSU Marketing and Communications to do a monthly CSU Life publication, which is a faculty staff newsletter, a visitor's guide to the campus, In past years, we've partnered with ASCSU to produce graduation publications that are mailed directly to the homes of graduating seniors. And then we partner with Off Campus Life to do a housing publication. Additional opportunities for CSU, again, is that through print, digital, social media, broadcast, video, and postering, we are offering opportunities for CSU departments and student organizations to get their message out to the CSU community, students, and staff. And this past year, very excited to be able to say that we've won 23 awards through an organization called Zimbam, and that's the next slide. Thank you. Zimbam is College Media Business and Advertising Managers. This is a national organization. And this fall, we won 23 awards, 20 individual awards, in addition to Andrea Pennington was our marketing manager of the year, honorable mention. We placed first as production company of the year, and we placed second as media company of the year. So that's advertising, marketing, and
This is the collegian one.
I don't know, I'm trying to pull it up.
Thank you.
Come on.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. If I have not had the pleasure of meeting you yet, my name is Allie Seibel, and I am the editor-in-chief of the Rocky Mountain Collegian newspaper. I am a sophomore journalism and media communications major with a double minor in business administration and legal studies. So that means that you will be seeing me up here for the next few years. So I'm really looking forward to that. And this is an example of some of our beautiful covers that we have had on the Rocky Mountain Collegian this year. I would like to give a brief shout out to some of my staff that are sitting right back there and taking time out of a very busy production night, where as soon as I'm done here, they will go back down to copy editing and page designing and all the other wonderful things that they do, but they are here to support me and Rocky Mountain Student Media and to hear this presentation. So thank you guys for being here. And so these are examples of some of our covers that I just kind of wanted to highlight. And this, there we go. If it focuses, there it is some of our visuals. We are especially strong in the visual department here at the Collegian. We have an amazing photo and design and graphic illustration desk that covers anything and everything. So these are just a couple examples of some of our shoots and illustrations that I am particularly proud of, and I think they really represent us well. So a little bit about the Collegian. We have 6 desks that oversee content produced by freelance reporters. We have a news desk, a life and culture desk, an arts and entertainment desk, a science desk, an opinion desk, and a sports desk. We also have a robust photo and illustration team that oversees freelance photographers and illustration editors as well. We have a full copy and page design editing staff, both freelance and hourly, which really sets us apart from a lot of other publications. And on average, we publish around 20 stories a week, which is a lot. We have 19 hourly staff editors in roles from desk editor to photo director to social media and digital content production. And we publish daily online and weekly in print. And that is something that really sets us apart from other publications who usually tend to pick one or the other. And we just turned 133 last week. And if you ever want any information on CSU history or history on ASCSU, come look for our archives, because I guarantee you at some step along the way, the Collegian covered something that was happening on campus. We have archives in the library and in our newsroom. So what we do at the Collegian, we are the go-to news source for all campus news, and we are a constant provider of Fort Collins and Colorado news as well. When breaking news happens on CSU's campus,
We make it a priority to be the first and most accurate to report it. Those are both very important things for us as journalists. When CSU's most recent presidential leadership change happened, we were the first to report both Amy Parsons' hire and Joyce McConnell's departure. And when a CSU track and field athlete passed away over the summer, our website saw record traffic, over 15,000 views, the highest for a news story on our site ever. We also report on local cultures and community, scientific research, arts and entertainment, and we are the only publication that covers CSU club sports. Anyone can write a letter to the editor or join our staff as a freelancer. And we also cover ASCSU elections every spring, provide coverage for weekly Senate meetings and other special events. So the Collegian, some numbers to kind of present. We employ around 130 people between freelance content producers and editors. We have 3,000 print copies around campus and Fort Collins each Thursday, and our pickup rate remains steady around 80%, which is very, very good for the digital media landscape that we are living in. Our website sees around 46,000 views a month and 38,000 individual stories viewed per month. Again, this is something that we are very, very proud of. We have around 4,000 Instagram followers, 4,000 Twitter followers, 5,800 Facebook followers, and we are now using metrics for news to better track our digital story performance. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what we have been up to in 2023 so far. We attended the Fall College Media National Convention in Atlanta, Georgia. And while we were there, we placed 5th in the country in a best of show competition for our October 19th issue that focused on local response to the Israel and Hamas war. That is something that I am especially proud of. We also earned 2 first place awards for work done last year, 3 honorable mentions, and we were especially strong in the visual department. We have a brand new science desk that is focused on highlighting scientific endeavors and research around campus. Our cannabis desk has been absolved into life and culture for strain reviews and social things, and science for cannabinoid research. We have had 3 special editions so far this first semester, and we are working on one right now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how the Collegian prepares for our futures. We employ students from different majors, including political science, psychology, and even engineering. While we do work primarily with the journalism department, our staff is here because they want to be, not because they have to be. We are fully independent like the rest of student media. Alumni have gone on to CNN, Politico, the Fort Collins Coloradoan, the Mid-Valley Times in California, Central Maine News, et cetera, et cetera. We have alumni in a lot of different places. These were honestly just what I thought of off the top of my head. Published work is one of the most important aspects to any journalist portfolio, job application, or graduate school resume. We provide any student with the opportunity to have published work, and we compensate them for it, which is also something that's really important to me. We are contributing to a very honorable tradition of bringing fair and accurate news to our local audience that has been passed down to us for decades. We understand the responsibility, especially with decreased trust in media, to be an accurate and trusted news source for our audience. And with that, thank you so much. And I'm going to hand it off to Jake with College Ave Magazine.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Jake Sherlock. I am the advisor for not only the Rocky Mountain Collegian, but also for CTV and College Avenue Magazine. The staff at College Ave couldn't be here tonight, and they didn't have any slides either. So I'm going to talk a little bit about them and then turn things over to CTV. College Ave Magazine is our standalone feature magazine for the CSU and Fort Collins communities. Just like the Collegian, we are completely student run. Our editor-in-chief is Avery Coates, who is a very accomplished photographer with the Collegian, who went on to become editor-in-chief this year for for College Avenue Magazine. We publish 2 different print issues each semester. Our first one this semester was titled Welcome to Fort Collins and was just kind of a primer for anybody who was new to town. And our most recent edition was our Style and Beauty edition. And if you are a sneaker collector or know somebody who is, you will probably want to check out that story because we had a really good one on sneaker collectors. So what kind of sets the difference between College Avenue and the Collegian? They are all very similar, other than, of course, the medium that they're printed on. With College Avenue, we get the really fancy, nice, glossy prints and everything. So that's of course one that all the photographers want to be in if they can. And it provides some great clips for both our photographers as well as our writers. While the collegiate tends to be more in the mid-range feature department, with College Avenue, we try to practice long-form writing. And so we go a little bit deeper into our subjects. We also tend to be a little bit lighter and more featurey than the collegiate is, but we have done news features in the past when, you know, the situation has called for it, and it's, you know, and just like the collegiate, the staff of College Avenue decides all the content. So we will have two editions coming out in the spring, as well as at our website, collegeavmag.com. You can check us out there for not only, you know, our current print issues, all of our content up there, but we also do some bonus content that we published actually over fall break, and we have some more coming out over winter break. So, you know, if you're bored while you're home on break, we will have at least something fresh for you to read at collegeavmag.com. That's collegeavmag.com. Anyway, so yeah, so that is pretty much all I have for you. Oh, except for I almost forgot, we need to talk about awards. College Ave was recognized as one of the top feature magazines in the nation for campuses of 30,000 plus at the College Media Association Pinnacle Awards this year. So that was one that we were extremely proud of. We also did very well in design and writing awards, as well as photography awards, for a number of other contests. I didn't count up the exact number, but you know, it was right up there with everybody else's. So we've done some really good work at College Avenue. If anybody is interested in getting involved at College Avenue, especially designers, we are really looking for some designers. We are full with photographers at the moment. But if you are interested in design, drop me an email and we'd love to get you working with us next semester. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to CTV, and I actually have to run out of here because I have to go pick up my son from an after-school function. But you know, if anybody has any questions, please look me up, and I'm always happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much.
Hi, yeah, so I'm Eton. I am the executive producer for CTV Channel 11. And just for anyone that doesn't know who we are essentially the department for Rocky Mountain State Media that focuses more so on television. So we're trying to not only increase the fact that we're trying to get more of like the news coverage as well, but we also want to try to integrate more of some TV stuff, which includes sports and entertainment. Coming into our next slide for that, if you guys didn't know, of course, hopefully you guys know, Clark A is being renovated, and unfortunately our home was underneath the building. So for us to kind of counteract that, we had to deal with us moving into a different location, which luckily they were able to give us over to Clark C, room 365 upstairs, with a temporary space for our studio room 364. So for us to adapt to that, we're trying to focus more as to like what we can do to take advantage of these changes that are doing to not only the studio itself, but the kind of content that we're trying to provide for other people here. So with that, as mentioned before, the new studio, oh, sorry, go back. Yeah, so new studio mentioned again, we're going to Clark C. Some other changes that we wanted to focus on as well was that, yes, although we have a big focus on news formatting, a big thing that it comes to trying to get people's interest, especially for kids that are here on campus as well as in Fort Collins, is more so entertainment stuff. Due to some analytical stuff that we're able to provide, the top 3 most recognizable shows that we actually have here are entertainment-based shows with the inclusion of Ram Life, Ram Google, and Local Beats. So looking into that, we took advantage of saying like, how can we adapt ourselves to get that crowd to come into us? So we decided to focus more on our entertainment shows being pre-recorded because of the move in studio, as well as more creativity to hopefully push to more people being interested in our content, which could lead to us to have more people watching the amazing stuff that our anchors in news and sports makes. Another adaptation that we want to focus on is our social media. So one big thing that we've noticed when it comes to marketing our brand awareness is that most people, especially for Gen Z and Alpha Gen, a lot of them they first see a brand through media such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. For us to adapt ourselves so that our name of CTV can be pushed out there, we expanded the social media department from having just one person that just runs it by themselves to having one person that leads a group of other people to post different type of content. And hopefully in the long run, we can inevitably adapt ourselves to push more news coverage out there so that more people are aware as to exactly what is going on in terms of everything within ASCSU, Fort Collins, or CSU. And lastly, our way of trying to push people to be interested with our stuff, as well as trying to engage people with and when it comes to editing and when it comes to editing and shooting footage is having more positions for them to learn. This would include our adaptation to adding in media production coordinators, which essentially their job is to teach people that are interested in wanting to make media and be learned from some of the best that we've had within CTV. So we've divided into two different sections where one person focuses primarily on teaching them how to shoot film, how to exactly use a camera, as well as how it means to get audio live on the spot, while the other one focused more so on post-production, which is including more so stuff like Adobe Creative Cloud, which is a big thing that most people within this industry are trying to learn. So if we can get them that head start, they can inevitably learn how to handle that. And then a fun fact that we've had for last school year, we actually won the official college TV station of the year. So for us wanting to adapt to that, because we're moving to a new, since we've moved to a new position, we're trying to see like how can we keep this reputation up of us being a college TV station of the year without actually having our old TV station that we used to have underneath Clark A. So in terms of our programming, we've had to make some changes, as mentioned before. A big one that has kind of adapted for us, especially as students that don't want to stay here much later. We move our programming from 7 to 7:30 because unfortunately there's a class that kind of takes over for an extra 30-minute slot. That kind of makes it harder for our studio crew to adapt to it, but easily they were able to make adjustments to make that work. In terms of the shows that we've had, we've kept it kind of consistent and the same, but we still took the feedback that we've gotten from our said previous executive producers, as well as people that, of course, watch it, like our audience. So our Tuesday night sports show has more so, again, focuses more on the sports as coverage throughout the last week. Thursday night news show, they focus more so on, again, the news that's happened throughout that week with some segments that focus more on some feature stuff that's going on, some bright stuff. But at the same time, we still want to teach them how to get more of the hard breaking news so that when they go out there to get anchoring positions, it makes it easier for them. And lastly, as mentioned before, our entertainment shows, which was more adapted to being more pre-recorded to increase creativity. Our current lineup includes CTV Underground, which is more of the show that focuses on types of content, types of topics that for us, we don't really necessarily talk about, but we want to have a discussion about it because it is important to include everyone's perspective around here. An example for that being that last episode, we had more so a topic about how shrooms interact with people, like what is the meaning of how we can take advantage of it or the disadvantages of it, or even looking at how tattoos impact people when they put it on, or to go back on that for tattoos, it's just like more so stories like how does that impact people, especially college students coming into making their own decisions for the first time. TTV Geeks more so focuses on the geeky side of things, whether it be movies, comic books, TV shows, music, they cover all that. NoCo Now is a mixture of 3 types of mini shows, which include more so like a travel channel, just showing what fun stuff is going around within Northern Colorado. A cooking segment to just kind of show what kind of eateries around here for Fort Collins, as well as the nature stuff to see like, yes, we have CSU, but a lot of people come here because of how beautiful it is. We have Horsetooth, we have all the ski resorts nearby. Like there's a lot of stuff that we can do here naturally that we want to show off to people. And lastly, we have Bamboozled, which is our fun little game show that kind of brings in people to our show to not only advertise who we are as CTV, but also to advertise that for people that are on the show that they can be fun. Like our main goal with that was to push people onto there so that they can show their true personalities. And I think that's one big thing that everyone, whether it be you being in a certain position or not, it's that show that personality to get people to be interested in. In terms of pitch shows, which is a new segment that we added in, we wanted to expand creativity once again. So we decided to offer 3 pitch shows throughout the semester. First one being Off the Record, which is more so kind of like a comedy sketch show that was initially just made to kind of make inspiration from The Office. Granted, of course, most of these pitch shows aren't necessarily great at first, but the idea is that they try it out at least and then slowly develop it through the next semester so that it can look better. A second one is CTV Cribs, which focuses more so on just the lives of people that live here. What exactly kind of hostels do they live in? What do the dorms look like for students that look us up on the internet? Like we're trying to give a platform from them that initially potential students that come here can look us up and kind of get that content for them. And then last one, we have another pitch show that is soon to be released Friday. It's still currently in process to be released, but once that happens, we'll air it. And then, just like examples of what we have in terms of content that we've made over this last semester. One of our bigger news stories would be CSU's RA Speaking Out, made by Jay Job with a great collaboration as well with Collegian. It's one of our top hit stories. It's hit amazing with the algorithm. So props to JJ. He did great for that. CTV Cribs pilot, again, just a way for people to understand what's going on with housing here. Ramboozled, we did ours outside to promote Clarkchella, which was a nice way for our name to get out there, as well as Rocky Mountain. And then for sports, a big focus on just the celebrating a lot of our athletes that we have here, especially for ones that aren't getting like bigger recognitions like football, volleyball, or basketball. Now I hand it over to Sam for more of the analytical stuff.
Hi, my name is Sam. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the AEP of CTV, or the Assistant Executive Producer. So, as Ethan said, we have been really focusing on social media. So these are some of our YouTube and Instagram. For the past 90 days, CTV has gained 38,000 views, which is really good. And on Instagram, this is also not fully accurate because it was last week, so these numbers have increased. But yeah, this is really shows the quality that we're putting out, and the fact that we are getting views. People do use us as an information source, and also we are the only broadcast news station in Northern Colorado, so that's a really big deal. We rep that a lot. We take that very seriously, especially for our news team. Yeah, and then if we go, these are some of our awards just from this past year, which is awesome. As Ethan mentioned, we are the college TV station of the year, which is a huge honor. We're really proud of that. And then the first place multimedia, that was with Collegian. But yeah, we have a lot of really good national and regional awards for both individual and for our group efforts in all of CTV. But yeah, thank you so much.
Hello, guys. Hope everyone's having a great evening so far and a stress-free week, as next week is finals week. So hope everyone does good then. My name is Phoenix Hebner, and I'm the director of 5003 Visuals. Thank you. So essentially, we are a professional video production team based out of Rocky Mountain Student Media, and we are 100% run by students, which we take great pride in. Our mission is to provide students with hands-on experience with video production, while also continually making high-quality content for both CSU and for our clients. So one of the biggest changes that we've made this semester is we've been rebranding, and we've rebranded our name from used to be Student Video Productions, and now we're called 5003 Visuals. For those of you who are curious, 5003 is the elevation of Fort Collins. So that's kind of why we chose the name of that, to be more fun and creative, as well as purposely the intention behind this rebrand was to really try to redefine ourselves and have our work better reflect our company, professional work, and our values. By not including student, we saw that this would make us seem more professional as a company, as part of Rocky Mountain Student Media. And even though it's a new name, we are still the same team with the same goals. The type of services that we do is promotional videos. Some examples is we've done videos for Noshnoco, which is the delivery service for Northern Colorado, as well as Duraslick, which is an auto chemistry company. We do social media ad campaigns. We do event recording and live streams. Our most recent event for that would be the TEDx CSU event. We've covered that event and done the live stream and recording for that for the past 3 TED Talk events that they've had. And then finally, we do educational videos for CSU departments. Some example of these are CSU Summer, which is a video that we're currently working on to help promote CSU Summer, as well as a video that we're also in the middle of working on, which is to promote CSU Strata. And ever since the summer, we have had more clients than ever, which is awesome. This is a video example for one of our videos, but due to time, I won't be playing it. But Noshnoco, again, is, or Noco Nosh is delivery service that we've made promotional videos for, as well as social media ad campaigns for. Some of the collaborations that we've done with CSU departments is CSU Department of Music and Theater and Dance. Over the summer, we made videos with the music instructors part of that department, and we helped make videos for the students that are auditioning to be a part of this program. And so they basically paid pieces video aspects and the journalism aspects of working with this video production company. And it's really important to students. We strive to work on customer interaction and building relationships within the community in order to continue representing RMSMC with pride. And we continue to create high quality work for our clients, which is our main goal. We are all very passionate about what we make, and we are excited to see what is in store for us in the future. Thank you. And now I'll pass the microphone to Bridget, who's going to talk about KCSU.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Bridget. I'm the station manager at KCSU, and I am going to briefly go over what we've been up to this last semester. So stick with me. I did want to start off with our mission statement. KCSU really does strive to train students to collaboratively operate a radio station that delivers and creates content that informs and inspires our listeners. We can see this really reflected in everyday things that we do here at the station, which you go on to the next slide. We have some things we've been up to. KCSU has exclusive rights to broadcast CSU volleyball, and we're also broadcasting high school football games. This is with a pregame show, play-by-plays, and postgame like wrap-up and interview. This past weekend, we covered the CHASA High School Football Game Championships at Canvas, and we were there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., so it's very cool. We also have on-campus events. We collaborate with our friends RAM Events a lot. We had Battle of the Bands back in September, and we had a $400 cash prize for a student band, and they also got a concert in the Skeller. So it's very important for us to have an event on campus every semester. We also have local live in studios. So picture MTV Unplugged every other Sunday. A live or local band will come in and do an acoustic set, and we also interview them. And this is just a really great way to continue our relationship with the local music scene here in Fort Collins. We also have our news program, Rocky Mountain Review, every Tuesday and Thursday from 4 to 5. I know it says 3 to 4 up here, but it's 4 to 5. It's live news, and it ranges all the way from campus and local news to international news. We also have a 5-week training program, so it's super easy to get involved with KCSU. You meet once a week for 2 hours, and then after the 5 weeks, you are a certified broadcaster, and you can do whatever you want at KCSU. We also have client and in-house podcasts. So right now we are teaming up with the CSU Health Network to bring a mental health podcast. We also have one of my favorite in-house podcasts right now is a Two Truths and a Lie podcast. So it's mystery, and you have to like guess throughout the podcast. It's really fun to listen to. And we also have community-based events for all KCSU members. We really try to be a community for people here on campus. So a couple weeks ago during our fundraising week, we went laser tagging, we had a kickball game, and we had a prom. So we just do kind of events like that to really make people feel like they have a community here at KCSU. This is our crazy radio schedule right now. I know it's like hard to see, but it's on our website and it should be sent to you. But we have roughly 60 shows going on right now. And whenever you tune into KCSU, you have no idea what you're gonna like listen to. You can get dating advice. You can hear about the phobia of spiders. You can hear sports, or even just queer education and all queer artists. So it's really exciting, and there's a lot going on, but definitely tune in. Oh, I have more, don't worry. Okay, awards. Again, you can find this on our website under our station resources. This is just this semester. Just some ones I want to point out. We got second place in audio creative in our live and local show. We also got third place best DJ personality. Both those were from the College Media Association. And we're currently entered into an NPR podcast contest, and we plan on submitting some more awards in January. So fingers crossed that goes really well. And we can move on to the next one. All right, some data from KCSU. Just this semester, we have raised over $10,000, and we had 166 donors. Though that might seem like a lot of money, it's only 10% of our budget, and I would say the majority of it went to fixing old equipment, but that does just show you how many people do care about KCSU and listen to us and want to support college radio. We had 60, roughly, recent training graduates, so that means 60 more roughly DJ shows next semester. We've reached 19,000 people on Instagram, and we're almost at 3,000 followers, which is really big for us. We've had a couple viral videos, so if you've seen the people going around asking what you're listening to on campus. That's us doing that. And we had that 300-person event in September. We are having another event in the spring. It's gonna be our 3rd annual Fools Fest. It's our punk rock indie music festival on campus. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we're having our Fools Fest in the spring, so we're hoping to double that. We just like to bring live music for free on campus for the students. And we celebrated 2 International College Radio Day events. We've just been really getting into getting KCSU's name out there and connecting with other college radios around the nation and obviously internationally. So we're really excited and really proud how much KCSU has grown just this semester. So yeah, that's really all from KCSU. Go listen to us, 90.5 on your car radio. Thank you. Oh, Tree Stump Films, everyone.
All right, so hi everyone, my name is Earl Polinian. I am a senior studying journalism and media communication with a minor in mathematics, and I'm going to talk about Tree Stump Films. So, let's go. Yep. So we are the newest addition to the Rocky Mountain Media. We just celebrated our 3rd year, so we're really young, but it's been very, very exciting stuff that we've been able to do. Currently, we have 6 films in production, 5 films completed for broadcast. We have 21 film festival awards and official selection, both nationwide in the United States, or some international film festivals as well. We have 4 films officially broadcasted and streamed on PBS. That broadcast happened last August, and we are preparing more for this upcoming spring semester, which is really exciting. For our students, we have 9 paid and work study crew. We have 5 volunteers, 1 history intern, and over all of our crew, we have 7 different majors represented. So clearly, student media, as everyone has been saying, it's not just for journalism students, but it's definitely for the greater student body. And we do have a lot, actually more of our staff is students of non-journalism students. So that's actually really exciting. Cool. So we can, go to the next slide. So this is some of the behind the scenes. So over here on the left, is this one? Yes, is, oops, thank you. So on the left is the shoot for the farmers market documentary that we are producing. Jenna, the director, is sitting in the back, and we're interviewing Dandelion Farms, which is one of the farms that is on the farmers market. And on the right-hand side is the wildlife documentary shoot. We went to Denver Museum of Science and History in Denver, and we get to see their collection and went to shoot there. So it's really cool. And just a little personal note, I'm graduating in a week now, and I secured like a, oh, thank you. Thank you. And I secured like a freelancing gig for like a production house locally here in Fort Collins. And I got that definitely because of working with student media. Definitely a lot of the production values of the technical side of like working with cameras and editing, but also my interviewer was really impressed that I mentioned that we do documentaries, because even a lot of the marketing stuff that we do requires a lot of stories. And if you produce documentaries, you've got to know how to write your stories. So, and I'm going to pass it on to Carolina Graves. She is replacing me as the new director for the next semester.
All right, some more behind the scenes photos. On the far left, we have another behind the scenes photo of our farmers market dog, and then same with the middle one, that's actually filming on Dandelion Farms. And then this one right here is for our latest wildlife documentary, which is close to closing on production. Some other ways we've collaborated with other CSU departments is we have developed strong partnerships with the geology department, history department, and the College of Agricultural Sciences. Our farmers market documentary highlights the CSU extension program. Our earthquake and wildlife documentary featured a CSU geology professor and the biology department. We are currently creating a feature-length wheat breeding documentary and collaborating with the wheat breeding and genetics program at CSU. And all of TSS projects give CSU students from all colleges an opportunity to work in a professional environment, giving them crucial real-world experience. And that's about it from TSF. I will be passing the mic to CEO of Rocky Mountain Student Media, Peter Walk.
Thank you very much. Excellent presentations, and I hope you are all as impressed as I am every day with the work that our students at Rocky Mountain Student Media are doing here. How am I doing on time check?
Few more minutes.
Okay, a few more minutes. Much to the relief of many of the people I work with, I'm going to abbreviate what I was going to say tonight, and I'll just hit on a few extra information that I thought you might be interested. That's broader corporate-wide information and not specific to any program. First and foremost, I'm the CEO of Rocky Mountain Student Media. I manage the 8 full-time professional staff. I directly advise 4 student departments. And then, as I think someone mentioned, we have over 300 students that are paid and work for Rocky Mountain Student Media. We're the biggest student media organization in the country. The CSU is #1 when it comes to student media. Not only the size, but the quality. You've heard a bunch of mentions about some of the awards we received. If we really went into them all, just for this beginning of this school year, we would have been here for 45 minutes just for that. So I didn't want to just highlight a couple of them. I think some of them were mentioned, but 5003 Visuals, CTV, College Ad, Advertising, and the Collegian were all recognized as being in the top 5, a top 5 student media unit in the country. Individually, each one of them were all in the top 5, and a couple of them were either first or second. KCSU, as they mentioned, they also had a DJ of the year in all of college radio last year. The very best DJ out of 2,000 stations came from KCSU. A particular note are Hearst Awards. I want to point those out. I don't think we've had a chance to yet. Hearst Awards are the most prestigious awards in college media by far. They are the equivalent of the Pulitzer Prize of college media. And over the past 3 or 4 years, we've won a number of them. And that really sets us apart in the industry as producing some of the very, very top-notch content a student media organization can produce. There's loads of other individual awards, other departmental awards. They're all on our website if you want to go check them out. I'm not going to bore you with every single detail, but we are proud of every single one of them. I did also want to mention that there are a bunch of departments that are not represented tonight. We had a limited time period to present to you, and our facilities, our IT department, our web department, our front desk and business managers, our alumni coordinators. We also have a bunch of other smaller departments that you wouldn't think of as content producers, but those are also student staff and student run. So we have a lot of opportunities way beyond what you would consider as traditional media for students to get experience and really help them start their careers and then also succeed later in life in their careers. It was mentioned earlier, it's important to note that we have a very broad base of majors. Many people might think, oh, that's like a journalism thing, but under half, it's almost under, it's just at about 40% of the 300 students are journalism majors. We have 35 other department and other majors represented for students that work at student media. Some of the ones that are behind journalism, but not too far behind, that have big numbers are business, art and art history, communication studies, natural resources, and English. Those are some of our other bigger departments, but there's 35 in total. I'll transition a bit here to some of our funding information. A lot of you who've been around may know some of this, but I'll just give you a brief overview. We are a $1.4 million a year annual budget. That's our budget for the year to maintain and continue to grow on the work that we're doing. So in addition to the student fee money we receive, it's up to us to raise $650,000 a year to maintain this level of activity, to continue to try new things such as the documentary film department, and ultimately to continue to expand even within existing departments, the opportunities for students. Kim is very modest, Bella is very modest, but that is a heavy lift for that advertising department. And as she mentioned, they have to sell like 75 different products to get it done. So, I just want you to keep in mind the amount of effort and time we put into raising money to fund about half of our overall budget. If you compare us to other Colorado-based schools, of the ones that I could get information on, we're the second to last in percentage of funding for student media. And I'm not here to ask for more money. I just want to make sure you get in context with the rest of the Colorado-based schools. The only one who funds a lower percentage of their student media, any guess? DU, the school, Denver University, the school we think of as probably the most wealthy school, and they fund 50% of their student media. CEU, for example, funds 95% of their student media expenses. So we're happy with the money we receive. We're so excited that we continue to grow and that we're financially stable. I just thought it might be interesting to you to put us in comparison to the rest of the Colorado schools. Also note, most of those programs don't have documentary film, don't have a radio station, don't have a TV station, don't have all of the different departments that we're able to fund here through student fees and through the money that we raise. One of the other initiatives this year is where we brought in an outside consultant to do diversity, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion training with our staff, and with a particular focus on our hiring process. Overall, we've done a really good job of hiring a diverse staff. Currently, we have 32% of our students that are identified as coming from a racially diverse background. That's higher than the CSU general population, I'm pretty sure. From what some of the information I saw, they're around 30 or a little bit less. And it is way, way, way higher than most media organizations, which are dominated by people that look like me. So I feel like we're building the soldiers and the potential managers to really disrupt the white male dominated media world by the work that we're doing here. But we can do better. We want to see that number go up. I'm running out of time here. I can always come back too, or we can all set up a second dinner. Thanks to Braxton, who set up an awesome dinner between ASCSU and Rocky Mountain Student Media last week. It was a ton of fun. We learned a lot. We met new people, and we came out of there, I think, with some really great ideas on how to have a stronger and more productive relationship between ASCSU and ASCSU and Rocky Mountain Student Media. It's important just to remember the two halves of our mission. We talked a lot about training tonight. We talked a lot about the benefits to our student, but the other half of our mission is informing and educating and entertaining the CSU student body and the CSU public in general. And that's nearly as important, if not as important, as the training work we do. Building lifelong consumption habits for young people on how to read news and how to determine what's factual news is incredibly important to our democracy. And it's also incredibly important to the success of the media industry. Pew Research did a recent survey, and it showed that students in the 20 to 29 age group, not necessarily students, trust the information they get from social media more than their local news stations. And that was kind of shocking too. It was about 52% of 20 to 29-year-olds trust their local news source. We did a big audience survey last spring. I'd love to send you that full report. There's a lot of good information in there. And it showed that 87% of the student body gave Rocky Mountain Student Media content a 3 or higher, with the highest being 5 in terms of trustworthiness. So when you compare that number to what the national trends are, I think our overall brand recognition, reputation, and trust on campus is incredibly high. Thank you all for coming tonight. I know this is a very busy time for you all. If you have any follow-up questions, any ideas on our programs, please reach out to me, Saran, our board chair, any of the individual student media leaders that you heard from tonight. Our doors are open, and we really do care about your input, and we appreciate all the work that you do for ASCSU through student government. Thank you. Good job on that.
Thank you. Executive reports. Let's make it cool. Oh, I love you. That's not your motion.
I know.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So I am the Deputy Chief of Staff. My name is Ayla Sarwar. I go by the she series of pronouns. And following that little presentation, I just want to give a little reminder to the senators in this room that you all have access to the ads and the half-page articles and all of the things we get from our contract with Rocky Mountain City Media Corporation. So if in the spring there are any projects or things you would like to get more attention on, please reach out to me. Find me in the office, find me on my email, you can always find me wherever. Okay. And also, for the Environmental Affairs Department, we are having a sustainable Christmas holiday soiree. Sorry. But it's basically like, if you have any presents you still need a wrap for the upcoming holiday season, you can come to the Corbett Hall Community Kitchen on December 7th, 4 to 7 p.m. And you can sustainably wrap all of your presents. I know they're having like fabric and tons of other resources, so it's not going to be just your boring old newspaper or wrapping paper. Okay, thank you so much. And ASCSU or marketing to those in front of the office.
Good evening, folks. My name's Braxton Dietz. I serve as the Chief of Staff here with ASCSU. First of all, I just want to thank Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation for coming out and giving that wonderful presentation, and also to all the Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation folks and ASCSU folks who came out to the event that Pete mentioned. We really appreciate y'all and look forward to a partnership. Only announcement I have for today is on the 24th of January. ASCSU will be holding a State of the Association address where we'll be hearing from a few of the branch leaders and primarily President DeSalvo on the notable accomplishments of ASCSU in the past year, and the direction that we're going for the rest of the semester, and the future years and the future vision of ASCSU. I guess similar to the State of the Union, but we're not quite that important. So I won't make that much of a comparison. And with that, enjoy finals. Good night.
Speaker Ayala, I know you want us to make this brief, but I apologize if you have quite a bit to cover. I wasn't here last week, and that was because one of my responsibilities as president is to serve as the student rep on the Board of Governors. And so we had our Board of Governors meeting. It happens every 2 months. And this is where we discussed some of the budget models post the governor releasing his budget. And the governor's budget, quite frankly, does not prioritize higher education, which is unfortunate. I think it's pretty exemplary of the funding model that we have for higher ed in our state. But it has essentially led to, over time, the share of cost that students have to bear is much, much higher than it used to be, specifically in Colorado. And it's really pricing our most vulnerable communities out of being able to afford higher education. And I think it's really unfortunate. But with those new budget models, there are different budget proposals that are presented by each of the institutions. And before this, there was a 0% tuition increase model that was an option. That's no longer an option with the governor's budget and the amount of state investment that would happen for higher education, with a 3% investment increase model from from the governor's budget, along with a 2% tuition increase, it would still send CSU into a $20 million budget shortfall. The way that we budget is not sustainable. Increasing tuition year over year is not sustainable. And so really the number one concern I hear for students is the affordability piece. And so that's why on December 13th, before the legislative session starts, myself, along with some other student leaders, are going to the Capitol, and we're meeting with members of the Joint Budget Committee. The JBC is realistically the only option to invest more in higher education. The governor can present his budget, but realistically, it's up to the Joint Budget Committee as far as how much they're willing to invest in higher education. I think it's important for students to tell that story about how students are being priced out of higher ed. And, you know, I really struggle to call our education here at CSU affordable when a third of our student body is food insecure. And the university has to, you know, come to terms with the fact that we have to offer students a food pantry in order to meet students' basic needs because of the cost of living in Fort Collins and the cost of tuition here. And so that's a fight we're in, and we'll continue to do that work. This week, I also got a text from our mayor, Jenny Arndt. She was in Dubai for a climate conference for mayors. And apparently there's a grant for youth engagement and climate to the tune of $50K that she applied for. And so that's a partnership that we're pursuing with Mayor Arndt to increase our climate goals that we have, not only for the city of Fort Collins, but the university. I think it's really a no-brainer when we're one of the best cities in the United States to bike. And so I really can't foresee us not getting that grant, but that's a really good example of a partnership that we have with the city. Yesterday, LSAT took a field trip because the county commissioners had offered to have a sit-in on a meeting that they had with other legislators, state legislators, about prioritizing what was going to happen at the state legislature. I also wanted to talk about this a little bit, just because I wasn't here last week for the conversation to be had, but more so generally around BSOP, the executive budget. I think it was expressed fairly clearly that you know, I got my start in BSOP. I credit BSOP with you know, really exposing me to the really great opportunities that ASCSU presents. But I was wrong in budgeting. After you win your election, you have about 2 weeks to allocate really 1.7 million. A lot of that is tied up in contractual agreements, but it's a lot of money that you have to, I guess, read the crystal ball and figure out what's going to happen in a year after you budget, 2 weeks after you win. And so, you know, we got it wrong. I was on BSOP for the last 3 years, and my freshman year, we had $100,000 remaining that we allocated to different projects that invested back in student government. We had remaining funds that we invested back in students and student government. Last year as well, we had remaining funds that we again invested back in student government initiatives. This year, we're running out of money very, very quickly. And that's because, you know, we don't have COVID restrictions. Folks are starting to host more events, much more than they have in previous years. And so we're seeing that. And the executive budget is tied up, plain and simple. There really is no wiggle room. And at this time last year, I crunched the numbers. I was Speaker of the Senate last year. And we had really substantial pieces of legislation that folks in this chamber came up with that serve students. Last year, the House of Otis bill, $8,000 to support a drag show for students. The CPR AED training, that was another $8,000 in the first semester. The B bill, $7,000 from this body. The groom bill, $7,000 from this body. And the police town hall bill, $1,000. That's $31K that in the first semester this body allotted to projects for the student body. So far, there's only been $10K out of the $100,000 budget that was allotted for this chamber. And that 10K came from an initiative that the executive branch spurred for the lobbyists. And so I tell you all of that to say this. BSOF is hands down the #1 way that we impact the student body and have a positive impact on students, funding these events. And additionally, they meet a lot of our DEI initiatives because cultural organizations don't have the bandwidth to fund events that cost $20,000 plus. That's what they come to BSOF year over year for. And I appreciate that we can give them those funds, but we're in a position now where we will run out, and we'll run out prematurely. And so all I'm asking this body is to really, really consider how we can support students. If you allocate money to BSOF, that's not an executive priority. That's a CSU priority. That's a student priority. And I think you all can consider that a win if we invest back in the students in the best way we possibly can. I'll leave you with this. If you have any questions about BSOF or the executive budget and how that process happens, please contact me and let me know. And I'm more than happy to sit down with you and have a conversation about why we're at why we are where we are right now in terms of funding, and why I think it's so important, especially for this body, to prioritize some of the good work that ASCSU has done year over year. So with that, thank you, Senate, and I really, really hope you have a wonderful break.
Point of information, President DeSalvo, you mentioned earlier that you were hosting an event for student leaders. Why wasn't anyone from the Senate invited to that?
No, they were. Speaker Ayala has been invited to that December 13th event with legislators.
Do you plan on inviting anyone else from Senate, or will it just be everyone from exec and one person from Senate?
It will be branch leaders as well as our Chief Justice, which is also an ASCSU. She'll be there as well, Senator. We'll be having a day at the Capitol in the spring semester for all ASCSU and all students as well.
Yeah, just following up on what Nick said, I think he covered most of it. It really is up to you whether you want to further support student organizations this year. That's up to you. We've done a great job this year allocating the funding, and at this point, there's really nothing else we can do except keep pushing. So, yeah, I hope you all consider that and have a great rest of your break.
All I have to say is have a good break, good luck on your finals. We're adjourned.